683 show.
Welcome everyone to this week on the 6873 show. We're actually going to have After Dark, and we're going to be exploring some really cool subjects. We're going to be exploring strange crimes, unsolved mysteries, and some of the most bizarre crimes that have been solved, and some other really cool stuff. So please join me. My name is Rin. The other hosts of the show, of course, are...
As always, Rossi. And here we have...
Ion and this beautiful woman next to me.
I'm still mad that Rossi's stealing my lines, because I always say, and I'm as always. We are, of course, joined here today with the awesome Melon, me. Right next to me is our favorite Fistic, Healed. I swear to God, I will drop kick you into next week. Anyway, Derp Dini Chan is next to us, and Noobus is back on the show, and fucking finally.
The king of the unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, and the big hat cake over there is Retro Cat.
Hi,
I almost
cake,
call you retro Crack.
Retro cake? Retro crack, let's go!
Yeah! When you fuck up, you gotta do it good.
And I would like to point out that retro... Sorry.
No, go on.
Ricky. I would like to point out that retro is actually the kind of person who actually made our new intro. Made our new theme song.
Yes.
You know that crazy music that they've been pumping out in the 6873 show? That's me.
So, anyway, as Ren said, unsolved mysteries, worst criminals in history, or
crimes.
Exactly. So today we actually talked about the subjects worst criminals like in our country. It could be like from the past, like the one that made the history books. It could also be new ones or just someone we remember from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're in for good stories and you love crime, you should watch this. So, without further ado, let's start. Okay, who starts?
Well, me?
Oh,
but I'm a good wolf. I don't know anything about all this stuff.
I will come over. For fuck's sake, Ren, I'll come over there and hatch you up, and then we can have a real solved crime.
The 6873 show noir. What happened to Ren?
Oh my.
Is that what they...
All I have is this.
Oh God, he brings up
Death by donuts. Death by donuts.
D's nuts.
Oh my Lancer.
Okay.
Well, I do have a couple of personal stories.
Sure. Go right ahead.
So, I work at tourist resort stuff on a dock, and there was this one time I was working on the dock. We had this couple, this husband and wife, go out with their best friend and like one or two close friends of the missus. And so they went out. They were due for a week vacation. You can rent a houseboat, and you can take the houseboat out and have a vacation on it and bring it back. So they rented a houseboat, and they went out for the full week, came back after the full week, and there was some questionable things that kind of happened. The husband, after they came back to dock, they said there was a horrible accident. Mind you, they didn't do anything. They didn't radio this out or anything like that. When it happened, whatever. They literally spent the entire vacation out, came back, and the husband was gone. And he said, yeah, there was a horrible accident. He fell off the boat, was swimming around, and then he just disappeared. Mind you, there's no remorse from the wife, no nothing. And the close family friend had his arms around her, just all buddy buddies. Like, yep, I remember hearing him say, we're free now. And so I actually told one of my crew, says, go to the boat, make sure no one boards it, and count the anchors, because on the houseboats we rent, there's these great big Danforth anchors they send about this tall, and there's always 4 of them on the boat. So he went, he locked up the boat, he counted the anchors, came back and says one of the anchors is missing. And this is not something you can easily lose or anything like that. I mean, it's a Danforth anchor that literally stands this tall. I mean, it's not a small anchor. And so we started asking him questions and stuff like that, like, where were you? And I says, yeah, we were right at, I think it was buoy 70. It's like, okay, I know this like the back of my hand. Buoy 70 is always busy. It's the main thoroughfare of the lake. I mean, it's basically a freeway. And he says, yeah, we were there during the day, and there was no boats there or anything like that. We're in a private cove. It's like, there is no coves there. It's literally the main thoroughfare for the lake, and it's always busy. And it's like all the stuff didn't add up. Nothing added up. Police had to come, get involved in stuff like that, did an investigation. They never found the body. There was charges, but nothing could ever be proven because there was no body, no tangible proof of foul play.
No evidence.
But yeah, no evidence. And so, it was very weird that after he supposedly had his accident, they still continued to have their vacation, came back, no remorse, no nothing, especially from the now widow. And so the investigators had to come out. They went through the boat with a fine-tuned comb. We learned about the anchors being missing, about the location not adding up, because I mean, you go there any time, even middle of the night, and it's just woo, 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 woo. And so yeah, that was a possible homicide on our little itty bitty dock in Lake Powell.
Wouldn't want to spend a weekend with them.
So if I go scuba diving over there, there's a possibility I will find the missing.
If we go around buoy 70, in fact, I probably know the cave we can go find them at.
Honey, the amount of gas you produce, you're gonna float no matter what. You ain't gonna.
If anything, you'll turn into the first human jet ski.
Oh, dear. So, who wants to start the next story?
Should we go round table?
Can do.
Tell us your stories.
It's a bee.
Do it.
Well, I haven't got any stories of that I know personally from murders and that, but I know obviously you got the famous one in the UK, Jack the Ripper, which I'm sure most people have heard of. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was basically they never caught the guy. I mean, his general victim was the prostitutes of the slums of East London. I think was it Whitechapel? I think was the area. I've got some information loaded up, but it's
I think it was.
I have no glasses on, so I'm struggling to read it. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, what was it? That was from 1888 to 1891, and he was allegedly never caught, never found. I know there was something I read somewhere where they think they found some evidence of an identification of who he was. Who was it? Where was it? Okay, my computer's on a ghost mode. 1 second.
Because of how the murders were actually committed and almost dissected perfectly, they kind of thought he had to do something with a medical profession also.
Yeah, there was lots of stories. They thought that because it was like he knew what he was doing in regards of cutting, because it was the typical way he killed them was to cut their throats. Yeah, he cut their throats and then he mutilated the bodies. But yeah, there was some information I saw here. Apparently, his name was, or so they say, from certain evidence that they found, Aaron Kosminski, a 23-year-old barber from Poland. Which
No
That
kidding.
would explain the surgical side, because back
explain it. Yeah.
Mm.
I was
back
about
Yeah,
to
then, I
barbers
mean,
back
that's
then
one of the
were dual
reasons why the
purpose.
barbers have a black and white spinner thing, because barbers were actually legally classified as surgeons.
Mm-hmm. A lot of dentists and stuff like that. You know, if you needed dentistry work or even basic medical, you know, what you consider
scalpel.
emergency or whatever, you went to your barber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, in general, it was never caught, and you know, even with what they say they've got the evidence from a say scarf that they've managed to get DNA from, but even so, still, it's still, in my view, an unsolved mystery of who was.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Well, then,
The
like
only
one
way
of
you'd
the
be
most
able to solve
successful
that mystery
murderers
is
in
if he was a
history.
time traveler.
yeah,
Yes. I can see
Was
the
it-
Dr.
was it
Who
Marty
playing in the
McFly?
background.
why is everyone
Well, the thing is, if you
Dude,
went
that's
back in
nothing,
time to
nothing,
solve it, it
nothing.
might be the last one you ever solve.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So, Ion,
What a
do
twist!
you have a story?
It's kind of like a drug lord kind of thing around here. It used to also be a club. It was formerly known as Club La Vila. And they actually have evidence proof, you can find it online, that they were actually notorious drug lords, smugglers, and everything.
Really?
They used to find, like, yes, cocaine, narcotics, everything you think of was found in the wall. The owner of it mysteriously, okay, I'm going to put this in episodes, mysteriously went missing the day before the raid. But nobody's ever seen him since. It's just
You think he
weird
got his
because you have
fortune and
this
tripped the country?
multi-million-dollar of narcotics in a wall, and then they just go poof.
He either got capped or capped out before and fucking coughed up.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
All they do know is that his car
either
is still
got capped
sitting
or
in the
capped
parking
out.
lot too. His car is still sitting in
Really?
the parking lot. A 1996 Porsche 911.
Oh god.
And no one tried to steal it?
No one stole it. Everyone's afraid to touch it. The last tow truck that tried to tow it off broke down instantly in the parking lot.
No kidding.
It's cursed.
Talk about holding a grudge. I
Yeah.
gotta fucking move my car or break yours.
No, the thing is, the last person who touched it, they went missing too, and it was a local kid.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Of
He was
course,
17 years
want
old. He
anybody
was in
else to
high
touch
school.
his car.
That's just it. The car was moved to a different spot.
It's alive.
It's fucking.
the
It's
killer
Christmas
Sounds like
all
a-
over again.
It sounds like a new version of
Yeah.
Christine.
Yes.
That's
the thing
just what he
is-
said.
I was thinking
the funny part is
evil side
that
of
the
Herbie.
building.
Yes.
Probably. But the funniest thing is the building's still there. Nothing has been touched. Everything is still in it. Its last party was on 2001. Everything is still hanging on the
No
walls.
kidding.
Nothing's been touched. The liquor's still new. There's vodka bottles freshly opened. Nothing's been touched.
Oh, that's just creepy.
So if you go into the building, you just see everything left where it was. Shoes, purses, bags, jackets, everything right there.
Damn.
Not a single thing. But on the other side, funny news. Florida man strikes again, throwing an alligator through a Wendy's parking or drive-through.
That's how they just picked up the alligator and skinned it and put it into chicken nuggets. That's probably what they did.
Exactly.
If it's Florida,
I feel bad for the
100%.
alligator.
They're chicken nuggets.
The
No.
thing is, it's
Gator
Florida.
tastes like
we don't
tastes like
fuck
chicken.
with it. We don't
Gator
mess
nuggets,
with it.
yeah.
We
Gator
don't do
nuggets.
anything stupid. But apparently,
Gator
we have the
nuggets.
one meth head who decides to pick up an alligator
Well,
and tosses it through a drive-through window.
well, with the
Crackhead
story
energy.
I'm about to tell you guys, you're still gonna hate Florida. No, not Florida. So, my story is from a very notorious killer. It's not how many he killed; it's the people he killed. So his dad was Danish-born. His mom was actually German-born, and his dad wanted to go to Canada to enlist in the American Army. But in Canada, you can't have a dual citizenship. So he had to move to the US so he can still keep his Danish citizenship.
Mhm.
He started in North Carolina, and this is where his son is born, Peter. I'm not going to mention the last name yet because I know all the Danish viewers, if you are out there, you know this beast. Okay, so they move around the country a lot from North Carolina, and they, at one point, the parents split up. He takes the boy with him, and they rekindle in Florida. So this is where it gets really bad because son and dad are abusing the mother to a point where she wanted to cut her son's hair and he didn't want to, so he strangled her to death. That was the first kill.
Damn.
That was the first kill. Now he went in and he served 10 years for that. I believe so.
Mhm.
But they actually, both son and dad, took her body and threw it away somewhere. Fast forward, he then comes to Denmark. The son, that is. I don't know about the dad because I just quickly read up it. And I actually think this is in 2001.
Oh my word.
He finds a girlfriend. She has 2 sons. Everything is happy and dandy, and all of a sudden you see in the news, man slaughters girlfriend and her kids, cuts them up and put them in the freezer.
I know exactly. I know exactly which one you're talking
Yikes.
about. The really fucked up thing is, that's actually here where I live. That happened out here where I live.
Denmark. No.
Oh, I'm talking about the Florida half.
Yeah. The woman who got strangled to death because she wanted to cut the son's hair.
Strangled to death, and both
His
of her kids
name?
were killed.
No. They only have him. Not that one. Yeah, he was an only child. His name is Peter Lundin in Danish. Peter Lundin. If you search him up, you will see a very crazed man with half of his face black and the other one is either white or just neutral. He has been in for the past 10 years and unfortunately, he is out, as you all can imagine. I don't know where he is. I know he changed his name, so I now know what his name is if you guys are interested. And I will leave it in the description below because I don't want to be near that bastard. Okay? He was all over the news. What?
Oh, that
I would
is
like
creepy.
to say, and a few of our viewers may not agree with this, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's because of sickos like this that we're bringing up that people need to bring back the death penalty.
Oh, we
Facts.
never had it here, but I want it. Please. We don't have enough staff in the prisons, and we just want space for those assholes. Euthanize
Well,
them.
that's it.
I don't give a fuck.
That's my argument. That's my argument. If
Yeah.
someone is
We're very
literally
sinister
cruel
when it
and
comes-
lacking that much in humanity to actually do this to kids even,
Mm-hmm.
why would you
Are
want them
we
sitting in a
actually
comfy
the
prison cell living off
criminals?
taxpayers' money?
Instant death penalty. 100%.
A life for a
Okay.
life.
So, bringing back, this is a local story, and I really want to tell the story because it's tragic. And it follows a lot of tragic deaths after that.
Mhm.
So, in my town, there is a local bar. I can't say what its name is in Danish because you wouldn't understand shit anyway. But the owner, I think her name was Vivi. She dated a guy like on and off a little bit, and she was an elderly lady, well, middle age if you have to be nice. And at that time, she was at work. There was nobody there because she just had an electrician come by. He had to go up in the attic, and there's just this like small door you just open up and you crawl up. And he was out there fiddling around, and all of a sudden he starts to hear like commotion and screaming. And he actually sees her run past this, is it called a hatchet? I'm sorry.
Hatchway?
The lid.
Well,
Hatchet,
The lid of
axe.
the
a hatch.
Oh,
a
a
hatch.
hatch.
Yeah,
Say hatch.
that's why I'm asking. Well,
Yeah, hatchet's
anyway,
a type of
she
axe.
runs past. He can see her from above, and then he can see a man following her.
Hmm?
That man actually multiple times stabbed her until she died. And this electrician, he was like, he couldn't move, and he said, if I have been down when I saw that, I will be killed too. He killed him over jealousy. If nobody could have
Oh
her,
my
well, if
word.
he couldn't have her, nobody could have her.
They,
Wow.
Fast forward, she had 3 daughters. One of them ended up being an alcoholic, whatnot. Lost her son, actually a classmate of mine, who trained surfing. And I kid you not, he didn't see the bridge that was there, and it was a very low bridge,
ooh,
and it literally cut his head off clean.
Mm.
Mm.
Dang.
And she died not long ago because of alcohol, and some of them have changed their ways, but that one who died of alcohol poisoning kind of thing and age, she actually said that when he comes out of prison, she would shoot him. And they actually had to take her to a psychiatrist to convince her not to do that, given that she has kids.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's 3 or 4 kids left, and no mom, no grandma. So, and all because of goddamn jealousy. I remember it so like it was yesterday, and people will of course asking the kid like, "Oh, so how is it with your grandmother? How did she die? How many times did he stab her?" I'm like, just shut up. Just shut up.
Dang.
The kid is enduring enough as it is.
hmm.
Yeah.
And he was not even that old. When was he? I think it's about 10 to 15 years ago, maybe even more. I mean, for fuck's sake, he was barely a teenager when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is
So
crazy.
yeah, one death led to another, led to another.
Hmm.
But they caught him.
Domino effect.
Thank fucking God they caught him.
Yeah. Justice.
You really call it justice if he's still alive? Living off the
Well, he
taxpayers'
serves
money in a
10
box?
years and he's out.
That's true.
I think he actually got
10
out for
years.
good behavior. Before time.
That's kind of scary.
Well, let's see if he keeps that good behavior up.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
He may do it again.
I really don't think so.
Mhm.
That's probably why he's doing the good behavior, so he can get released early.
The thing is, people out
He's
here
like,
have something
Yeah,
with
I'll
knives.
be good. I'll be good.
They have something with knives.
If he,
I swear to God. Somebody broke in to his ex-girl's apartment. She was sleeping there with her new friend, and he literally just started cutting her skin slowly, like inch by inch by inch with a knife. And she woke up, and when she woke up, he started doing it to her boyfriend. Another one I went to college with, he killed his ex-girlfriend in blind rage because of jealousy. He got 12 years, got out at 8 because of good behavior. I mean, and then we have the lunatic that stands down by the government building. I'm gonna goddamn cut you. Where's my knife?
Damn.
I promise you, we are a safe location.
Meanwhile, back in reality.
Snap back to reality.
I mean, small societies have their own stories and such to tell. There's always that one where you think, oh my god, are people insane? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are.
Alright. Heal, it's your turn.
I blabbered enough. Heal. Do you have one?
What is your true crime story? And where did you hide the bodies?
Well, there was a couple of I don't know, but I'm running out of places to bury them.
Huh?
Whoa.
I told you, don't send in the paperwork, okay?
Especially when it comes to a novel.
Stuff it in the toilet and flush it out.
No, stick them in stew.
Have the pigs eat it.
Stick them in stew. Mm-hmm. Then eat the pigs, just for good measure.
I do know there have been a couple of murders in my local area, but...
Okay.
I do know there have been a couple of local murders in my area, but I haven't really caught up on much of it because I've just been too busy with other things. But I was reading a true crime novel a few nights ago, and it actually came up with, and I would actually be quite surprised if you haven't heard the name, especially with some of our older viewers, is The Notorious Crimes of Fred and Rose West.
Oh god, yes.
Oh.
I don't think I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in the in UK.
Oh, right, bro.
Back in the basically back in the 50s, 60s, and if I recall, maybe the early 70s. But basically, Fred himself, he was already known to police before he even met his wife Rose. Before he met her.
Yeah, he was very fucked up. Very fucked up.
Oh yeah. But it was not long after he actually got married to her that he became obsessed with death. To the point where his wife even assisted him. They would literally kidnap, assault, rape, and murder all of their victims, including their own daughter.
Yes. Sexually assaulted their own children.
So it's turned into the UK version of Bonnie and Clyde.
I was about to say.
Well, I think of the Manson family.
Well, kinda.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the Manson family.
Yeah, I got a fucking thing here. In 1964, Fred and his first wife, Rena, met Anne McFall, who was a friend, and with her, they moved to Gloucester, where he found a job in a slaughterhouse, very convenient. Researchers believe that this profession made Fred brutal and obsessed with death.
Mm-hmm.
It is alleged that while he lived in Gloucester, he committed 8 incidents of sexual assaults, but he was not immediately linked to these crimes due to lack of evidence. He also became sexually involved with McFall, who became pregnant with his child. When she asked him to divorce Rena and marry her, he killed her in 1967.
Holy shit.
Got a count open.
But this is where it gets interesting. Around this time, he left Rena and... Around this time, he left Rena and became involved with Rose, or as they put it here, Rosemary, who he would eventually marry. It is believed that his second His second wife, Rose, killed 8-year-old Charmaine, Rena's eldest child, in 1971, when Fred was in
Oh
jail.
my word.
That's the thing. All their victims were buried in their back garden, and when they were arrested,
That's
their
right,
house
yeah.
went up for sale. No one would buy the house. In fact, I think it's still vacant to this day. Or was it
They
demolished?
can't sell
No
it.
kidding?
No,
I'm just
think
they
it was
tore it
demolished.
down. I do believe.
bad
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
joke,
they tore
but
it
food
down because you
fertilizer.
can't sell it.
No,
No,
honey,
it was
that's
a
our
goat.
future home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's
Ah.
I've watched a documentary on these. It's quite
that is
disturbing stuff
crazy.
what they got up to. He also used to basically pimp his wife out, pimp Rosemary out to sleep with other men and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And he would watch and all sorts, and yeah.
Oh, that is crazy.
Here we go. In February 1994, a warrant was issued to search Cromwell Street house. This time, the police found the remains of 2 dismembered young women, one of whom was suspected to be Shirley Robinson. During police interrogation, Fred admitted to the murders and the presence of the bodies in the cellar. The police then discovered the remains of 9 individuals. Fred also disclosed the murders of Rena, Anne McFall, and Charmaine. While the case against Fred developed, Rose tried to convince the police that she was also a victim, but the police were not convinced of her innocence. On December 13th, 1994, Fred was arrested and charged with 12 murders and was imprisoned at Winston Green Prison. On the 1st of January, he hung himself in his cell with the help of his bedsheets, the coward. Rose's trial began October 3rd, 1995. Anne-Marie testified to her involvement in the sexual assault and murders, and on November 22nd, the jury found her guilty for 10 separate murders. She received a whole life order. Basically, she has to literally stay in prison for the rest of her life. And they are quite rare in the UK, a life order.
Mhm.
You would
They
think
should
with all the
give them
crime,
out.
with the crime, but you would think with the crime rate here in the UK that life orders would be quite high, but they are actually quite rare.
Mm.
Yeah, but 10
There is a no.
homicides.
And all her
Damn.
appeals were rejected. The House of Horrors, we were right. The House of Horrors was razed to the ground in October 96. On December 10th,
Is the property still for
2017,
sale?
it was reported that Rose, who was in jail, had been diagnosed with irreversible glaucoma.
Honey, I really love you. I do. But shut the fuck up.
What do you say?
Got a real peanut gallery over there.
Nothing.
He asked
Is the property
Yeah,
if
so-
the house
for
was
sale?
still for
Yeah, so they tried to sell the house, but it was then demolished in 96.
Dang.
That don't mean the property's still there. You can build us a
We
mansion.
had to figure it'd be cheap property.
Oh my
Yeah.
land,
People
bug.
are dying to get to
ain't
it.
gonna have
Exactly.
Wow.
God.
Don't by a portal because there are bodies coming up from the ground. Like in Poltergeist. No. I like
I
thrills,
bet
but
it's
not that kind
100%
of.
wanted.
Honey.
Oh, trust me, there
Play
are
Call
many
of Duty
more on the
Zombies
list.
Unlimited.
Trust me,
With
there
real
are
zombies.
many.
Real life cars
There are
in your
ma-
home.
There are many more on this
Oh,
list
dear.
that I found. Harold Shipman, Peter Sutcliffe, the Craig
Mhm.
brothers.
Yes, the craze.
I heard of
yes.
Cray
The famous
Brothers.
ones.
Mhm.
Lady Mary Bell, Dennis Nilsson, Mary Hindley, and Eden Brady. We were talking about them a
Yeah,
couple of nights
Moira
ago.
Hindley. Yeah. Moira Hindley,
250.
Ian Brady. Yeah.
Just a quick thing. If you want links to these stories, not so much a local one, but like global stuff like has been talked about here, we will leave a link in the description below so you can actually go in and read up on it if that's what you want, if it caught your interest. Also, if you have good stories you would like us to read and tell, send them in. Send us an email. After all, we have this segment for a reason. Ghost story, murder mystery,
Oh.
unsolved crimes.
Oh, Derp,
Please do it.
yes.
Yes, it helps me. It helps me. Give me some of
Have
your
you
ideas,
ever heard of the
please.
Zodiac Killer? An
Yes.
unsolved murder?
I have, yes.
I've heard of the
Crazy.
Zodiac Killer. I wasn't familiar with the details of it though.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's one of my favorite unsolving murderer because I'm into zodiac signs and everything, and how he did it is crazy. He even leaves notes and everything to the what you call it, those investigators and stuff like that investigates trying to find him and everything. He leaves them clues and everything, and yet they still cannot find him. It's crazy.
It's the
Very
same with
crazy.
one we have here. Called
Like his calling card?
Amamen, or Ama. Ama is the street name in Denmark, and then the man. He also did like a lot of bad stuff to a lot of people. Honey,
Dang.
don't go
You're
rapid on
barking
me.
again.
You start
Rough.
barking.
No, Patty's here. I
I
believe,
know.
or my cousin's here.
Big chunky doggy. Pat pat. She's rounded than the coffee table.
Oh,
Did you know?
Jesus.
She chunky. No, Rozzy, whenever I say she's bigger than your
Yeah.
bike motor, she's bigger than your
Poker
bike
belly.
motor.
Jesus.
What is it, Rick? I'm gonna say.
She's easier to roll over than she is to walk.
Nah.
Butchie chunky. Okay, before we start
Anyways.
blabbering again, do you guys have any stories or such that you would like
I
to share?
do have one. I was going to mention El Salvador, but we all know him. He's pretty famous. In and out. But however, there was one that did outshine El Salvador himself because he appeared on many news and he appeared a dedicated show towards this as well because he was known as the Xbox Killer because what he did was insanely disgusting. He was so a little bit about him is that he had no adopted parents. He was in the care system. His parents gave him up, and I don't know the reason why, but they just put him up for adoption, and no one adopted him. And then once he became of age, he left the care system because once he became of age, he had to go. Had to make room for other people and other children that needs to come in. And so they helped him set him up with everything. So he got his university credit, stuff like that, and helped him grow. So he got his education, and then he again goes on to getting some benefits. I don't know the whole story about his background there, but however, he was interested in gaming a lot. So he would have his own gaming PC that he would then target, and apparently the psychologist says that he has issues with his own sexual identifications. So he's very confused about who he is. He's not settled to know who he is and stuff like that. Blah blah blah. And I was like, that still does not excuse what he did. So he particularly targeted a vulnerable adults who have a problem at home, and he managed to find one and on a game, and he was doing voice chats and everything. So they gave a recollection of what they heard because some voice chats are recorded when you're online in multiplayer lobbies. So this one was recorded, so they managed to get some of it, and it shows them that he would say things to this. I think it was this kid who was 17 years old, and tried to convince him that I have my own business, I'm very rich, I have my own money, stuff like that. And he would entice him.
Grooming.
So, I can pay for your college, I can offer you a job, I got all this, I can get you all set up for life. And for that kid, that opportunity was like a golden thread. Like it was,
Hmm.
he just couldn't resist it. And so then the Xbox killer decided, like, because he'd spoken to him again on the next day, and the kid said that, I won't mention any names, so the kid said that his parents were against it. So they didn't want him going to the Xbox killer because they were suspicious about, him saying stuff he met online. It's too dodgy. So they told him, no, you're not going, you're staying here. So the Xbox killer then gave him, like, okay, well, we'll do this. I'll get you a taxi. I'll book your fare and everything. You can come here. Don't tell your parents. Sneak out. And
Oh dear Lord.
he did. He snuck out, got the taxi, went straight there. And he never came home back that day.
Yikes.
The parents rang up saying that the child has gone missing, gave details, and funny enough, on the next day, they got a call from the Xbox killer saying that there's been an accident. Said that this person had a knife in their hands, they came charging at him, and he used his penknife and to stab him in the neck to defend himself. And I thought when you stab someone in the neck to defend yourself, it's something around here. Not superficial, but something around here where you can easily just, stop the lunging. But no, the wound that this person had was at the back of the neck here. So for you to go like that, no. So the police then came out, investigated, because they said that the body was still here, and he tied it up just in case they were alive. And so the police came out, they investigated, and lo and behold, they put two and two together. The description of the boy who came down to the Xbox killer matched the description that the parents gave in previously for a missing child report.
Hmm.
So then they
Oh my
started to question.
gosh.
He gave his statement saying that this is a friend of mine. He had trouble at home, and his parents didn't want to come down. So I got him down here to give him some headspace and stuff like that. And then he just went insane. And he just started lunging at me. He wasn't there anymore. He lunged at me with a knife. And the police were having none of it. It was just like, no, we're going to investigate this further. And gladly they did, because they found evidence. And not only that, when they arrived on the scene, they found duct tape. They found a whole bunch of condoms and black bags. And they were like,
oh no.
okay, this is really, really weird. So they investigated
That's
even
not
further.
good.
On the day that the boy was getting the taxi, the Xbox killer went out and bought the black bags, bought condoms, and bought lube. So they see it on the recording as well, on the shop they bought it from. So they went to the shop to get it and provide it as evidence in the later on the court to try him that, this was intent to kill. So they also got the voice report that what he mentioned onto the operator. They managed to get hold of that, and he was tripping over his words and everything. And so on the coroners, they did the investigation. They found that at the base of the back of the neck was a puncture wound that was straight to the neck that was intent to kill. There was no bruising at the front, no
wasn't a
signs of
defensive
fight.
mark. No defensive marks
Yeah.
whatsoever.
It was straight designed to kill. And the thing is, only the fingerprints were only found on the weapon that potentially was used to defend himself. No fingerprints on the knife alleged that was used to, apparently, that the kids lunged at him with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pure attack.
And they also found that the coroner also reported that they found presence of semen present in
Don't
the
say it. Don't.
Mm.
blood,
Mm-hmm.
in the pool of blood where they found the body.
Oh.
So I'm not going to say what happened because he didn't say
No,
what
no.
happened.
We can guess it.
So-
You
we
don't
can,
need to.
We can
You
guess.
can put the puzzle
Yeah, we
pieces
can only summarize
together.
what happened. But he was charged, and he was charged for, I think it was, I can't remember exactly, but he's still serving time. I don't know where, but he is still
don't
inside
know.
prison. They didn't let him go because they knew they caught him, and he tried worming his way out of it. Like
Mm.
on the show that it was on Channel 5 where they presented it on. They did it, and they did it in 2 or 3 parts, I believe, because it took that long to do. And the mother, she couldn't keep it all together, even during the interview, even on the show. My heart just went out to him, like, someone like this, on something this
Mhm.
terrible, this disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
who in the right mind can do that? If you can do that, you're not human whatsoever. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
Hey. Here, here.
Dang.
And I
Mm.
hope he
It's like
got
kids need to look after
rest in
themselves online.
peace.
Mm-hmm.
You might think your parents
Can't
are
be too
fucking
careful.
annoying because they watch over what you do on the internet,
Mm.
but it's actually for your safety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are wicked people out there, and they will find a way.
Mm.
Eek.
There
Yes,
are bad
especially
people
when
who
you're
go
using
bump in the
data.
night.
That's one of the worst things to
Yes.
look out for.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. That's just a smorgasbord. Who shall we have tonight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Mainly
you
Tinder
say-
As much
is
as I'd love to
used
stick around,
for
I
it.
gotta go to work.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on the
Yours.
show.
Mhm.
And we'll see you later.
I know.
You.
Goodbye,
See
everyone.
heat.
Goodbye, all you potato chips. I will see you in the next episode.
Bye. Have a good time. There it is.
Nice.
I saw you order that. I
No, that
saw
was
you
only
just.
tiny for
Oh,
wasn't a
I
big
know,
one,
but
it
it's
wasn't
still
a big
cute.
one like earlier.
where is it? Where
It's
is
so
it?
cute.
Hmm?
And no cute. No.
Everyone, I want your comments down here if you think Anubis here is cute and or adorable.
Yes.
No.
Mhm.
Also adorable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and or
Adorables.
adorable.
Cute and floofy.
Just want to give him snuggles.
Anyway,
I guess
Melanie,
are
do you
very
actually
close.
have a story or something you remember? Before we go to retro? Nope.
No.
She just in on the
Nope.
listener.
No?
Retro.
Alright.
Retro.
Well, my story is more of a fun fact because I can't find anything else on it. But
Oh.
the first American suicide bomber
Hmm?
has lived in my state.
Damn.
No.
Shirwa
kidding.
Ahmed immigrated to the U.S. as a child from Somalia and was enrolled at Roosevelt High School in Minneapolis.
Oof.
There you
He
go.
also became an
Dang.
American citizen. So, yeah. But in 2008, sounds like he went back to Somalia because he drove a car loaded with explosives into a government compound and killed 21 people.
Right.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
my word.
Right. The first suicide bomber.
Oh my word.
Well, my country is no better. The first atomic bomb was being built helped by a Danish guy who fled to America.
Dang.
I ain't proud of that.
Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do.
Hey, I'll stick it where the sun don't shine.
I'm surrounded by imbeciles.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Start
much all I have.
drooling.
But it's interesting to know he lived in my state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that close too. You know.
Mhm.
Damn.
Well, I mean, hey, I lived in Vegas for a few years, and there was that was like
Oh,
living
no,
I
a
can
don't even.
crime
imagine the
novel every
stories
day.
about that.
Mhm.
Oof. Well, have we been all around? Anything?
I think we
Any
have. I
final
think this was a good
words?
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk all
Drink
night
the Lone
long,
Paw
but
coffee.
Lone Paw Coffee.
yes, thank you to our sponsor, Lone Paw Coffee. Go ahead
Definitely.
and check out
I gotta buy a bag,
lonepawcoffee.com.
100%.
Also, idea,
He's the coffee.
Lone Paw tea.
Working on it.
Ooh, I could go for
Yes!
some chai tea.
Okay, well, without further ado, I say that all the time. I need to change my lens. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching our show. We really enjoy doing it. I hope you enjoy watching it.
Thanks to
Like,
the
share,
studio audience
subscribe.
up there as well.
Yeah.
Very
Like,
stupid
share,
audience.
subscribe. Check out our Patreon. Check out our merch store. It's amazing. It has everything you need.
Ooh.
Go into lonepawcoffee.com. Check out our Discord, also our TikTok. There will be more content soon. I just need to get off my fluffy behind and actually do something. I will do it, I promise. But anyway, to all the potato chips out there, you take care, English, and you be safe, okay? Be safe.
Do it, he
Yes.
say. Do it. Do it.
Lots
Do
of
it.
loves. Bye.
Boy.
Twiddling the pip.
No.
I hate you guys.
All right. So here on the 6873 show, we have a very special presentation. Our own Angel Yukinari has kind of this little event that's happened today. It is his birthday. So if you see him
birthday.
everywhere, you have to spank him on the butt, wish him happy birthday, remind him how freaking old he is, like arcane old. And what we're going to do
Don't
now
worry, I reminded him
is
that
we're
he
gonna
needs
just-
a walker soon.
That is true, and prune juice, and prune juice.
I'm being
How
helpcast
does
if I need
it
help.
feel then? Exactly. I mean, how is the
So-
30 and above gonna feel?
I know.
I'm just
I know.
speaking for my own terms.
You're
Yeah,
older
that's-
than
that's-
us.
Yeah, and
Does
that's
not change the fact. He's swiftly on his way.
I think
So,
I'd
should
way
we
longer
sing
than
him a
you.
song?
Yeah.
Yes.
Should we do it in our own native language? I know I have a one and he has one, but it would be fucking
Yeah.
funny.
Mhm.
I have no idea
So
how
which
to sing
one?
Happy Birthday in Welsh.
Oh, God damn it, you.
He'll quickly Google
Okay,
it.
I'll just do it in Danish. Is it happy?
gave
Is
up
it
on-
happy birthday to you? Is that one?
I'll start it off. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angel. Happy birthday to and many more.
We were so off key, but it still works.
I can
Where's the
just
cake? I need some
feel
cake.
Am I free to go now?
You're the guy. No.
Yes. Oh yes, and check
got
out
cake.
Angel's Vibe Party at freaking rocks.
Yeah. If you want to, we can leave it linked in the description below.
Mhm.
Woohoo. You know you hate to love me and love to hate me.
You're like, I'm
Peace out, I'm gone.
Goodbye.
no, he was there at spawn.